It is going to be a great week in the Eagle's Nest. Let's do everything we can to make it a great week in the Eagle's Nest. We are in week 6 here in the Eagle's Nest, and each quarter is only 9 weeks long. So we are well on our way over the halfway point of the first quarter. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get everything finished up as we are on the back end of this quarter. Scholars, on Thursday, we're going to have something called a Walk the Building Night, where your families are coming to school and they're going to be able to walk around and hang out with your teachers for a little bit and also receive your first quarter interim report. So we want to make sure that we are finishing everything that we have, missing assignments, and that we are finishing the quarter strong. So let's make sure that that starts today, if you haven't already done so already. But it is week 6, hard to believe, but let's make sure we're reminded over a couple of things, right? First things first, let's make sure that we're putting those cell phones up in our book bags before or after the announcements when your teacher asks you to do so. And then our hallways and dismissal, we're still working through voice level 0. Let's make sure that we're continuing to do that. We're doing a great job of that during the day, right? As we're walking down the hallways, let's make sure that we're standing on a word facing towards our teacher. Our hands and feet are off the walls, and we are doing everything we can to maximize our time with our teachers and in our classrooms every single day. And one of the ways you can do that is by following the Fairview 5. So knowing the Fairview 5 is one thing, showing the action of the Fairview 5 is another. So that's what I'm looking for, the action of that each and every day. Number 1, we want to actively listen to the speaker. Number 2, keep our hands and feet to ourselves. Number 3, clean up our area. And number 4, be kind to others with our words and our actions. And number 5, do our best daily. So looking forward to you doing your best daily today in the Eagle's Nest. So last week we introduced a vocabulary word. And in that vocabulary word, we saw that we ended up doing a definition, a picture, and then a sentence, and something called a Freyer model. That's what this box is when you're breaking down vocabulary. And if you remember, last week we talked about the word develop. And if you're keeping score at home, develop means to grow and advance gradually over time. So if I wanted to develop my basketball skills, I would probably want to practice basketball. I'm not going to develop my basketball skills by throwing a football every single day, right? I want to develop the skills that I want to grow in, right? So if I want to develop myself as a reader, then I'd probably want to practice reading, right? So to grow and advance over time. And then we showed a picture of a tree, right? So a tree develops over time, over the years. A tree grows, you put a seed in the ground, and if you water that seed, it will develop into a fully rooted tree over time, or a plant, or whatever it may be. And then we used a couple of examples, right? Where we said Zamarian developed a plan to study for a spelling test. So if I'm studying for my spelling test, I'm not going to be working on place value, right? If I'm studying, or if I want to get better or study for a spelling test, then I'm going to work on that word list that I was given in my class, and I'm going to quiz myself with that when I get home. Then I also talked about Coach Finch. When he comes across a problem, he develops a solution, right? So instead of sitting in the problem saying, well, we're just going to be here all day. No, he's going to develop a plan or a solution to get beyond that problem. So today, our word, or this week, our word is increase. So similar to the word develop, but meaning a little differently on some of the things we did. So you probably have heard this word in math already this year. If you haven't, you definitely will very soon. So the word is increase, I-N-C-R-E-A-S-E. Now, if I want to increase something, I want to make it greater in size or amount. I want to make greater in size or amount. So we'll talk a little bit further about the word increase tomorrow. We'll show a visual of it and then have some pictures that go along, or sentences that go along with it as well. So one thing that I'm excited about this month, right, September 15th all the way to October 15th, we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And so you might say, well, what is Hispanic Heritage Month? If you've never been in the Eagle's Nest before, we've done it for the past 2-3 years. But each year, Americans observe National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. And so what you do during that time is you celebrate the histories, the cultures, the contribution of American citizens whose ancestors came from the following places: Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central and South America. So I'm saying all these places, and maybe you've never seen them before on a map, right? But if we're celebrating the contributions of Americans whose ancestors came from different places, if you take a look at this map, and I'll show you throughout this entire study that we're doing on Hispanic Heritage Month. But this is one part, of course, of a map, right? So the United States is up towards the top, where the green part underneath it is Mexico. But if you take a look, Mexico connects to, there's a couple of countries right there, but it connects to South America. So South America, of course, you see shaded, you see flags, but everywhere you see the shaded parts, whether it be yellow, teal, blue, pink, right? Even all the way over on the continent of Africa, you can see a couple of places where American citizens celebrate, right? Where their heritage and their ancestry comes from. So taking a look at this map, you see that it's all over. And we'll study some of these different flags in different countries as well. But just notice this spans over 3 continents. If you're keeping score at home again, right, there's more than just 3 continents. Do some research and tell me how many continents there are in the world, right? But here I'm seeing 3, right? I see one of the United States, I see or North America, I see one of South America, and then I see one of Africa, right? So quite a few different places that we'll be able to look at throughout the entire study. So one thing that I want to do is I want to share my screen here to show you, because one thing we want to do is we want to highlight an individual each and every day in the Eagle's Nest as we are going through. Here we go, Hispanic Heritage Month. So you should see something up on your screen at this time. You should see a picture on the left, Cecilia Cruz, right? Celia Cruz. Now, Celia Cruz is going to be the first person that we talk about this study of Hispanic Heritage Month. And each time we do, we'll list a couple of facts, because this person is a legend for Hispanic Heritage Month because, and we'll list out a couple of things. And then also, there's a video that goes along with it. Now, your teachers have the clips and the links to these videos. If you choose to watch those throughout the month, you are more than welcome to do so, because it connects, of course, to Celia and the rest of the people that we are going to be studying. So the very first thing, how is she a legend for Hispanic Heritage Month? Well, she's known as the Queen of Salsa. Now, I'm not talking about the salsa that you dip your chips in, right, which is really good. I'm talking salsa as in the dance, right? So a big time heritage and tradition of Hispanic culture, but she's known as the Queen of Salsa, and she remained true to her Cuban roots. Remember, just a few moments ago, we talked about the different areas and ancestries that Hispanic culture resides in, and Cuba and Cuban roots is one of those. So she remained true to her Cuban roots after leaving home because of the Cuban Revolution, something you'll study later on in your studies in school. Her catchphrase is ayucar, which means sugar, and it has become one of the most recognizable symbols of salsa music. Goes on to say that she's recorded 37 studio albums. That's a lot. 37 is a lot, all right? But she's recorded 37, and check this out. She's won 2 Grammys and 3 Latin Grammy Awards, and she has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And Hollywood, of course, out in California, where a lot of different actors and actresses, musicians, and stars live. So today we celebrate Miss Cruz for being the Queen of Salsa. Now, this is her in her later life, but she's remembered for her music. But you'll be able to watch a video later in your classes if your teachers choose to do so today. But that is just one thing or one person that we wanted to highlight today. We'll start again tomorrow with somebody else. And of course, we'll review each and every day as we go through the Eagle's Nest and celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. There's also going to be some time where grade levels are going to be on here as well. And grade levels will have an opportunity to highlight somebody as well. So we might be able to review a couple of people as well, depending on who the grade level ends up reviewing on morning announcements. So I'm looking forward to that, because that will start later this week in the Eagle's Nest. Hey, it's 7:38. It's time to get after it today. I hope you have a fantastic day in the Eagle's Nest. Hey, scholars, one way that you can have a fantastic day in the Eagle's Nest is not only by following the Fairview 5, but being elite in all that you do. So one of the ways that you can be elite is by following the Fairview 5 and knowing that good is good, great is great, but elite is elite. And that's what we're looking for in week 6 of the Eagles Nest. We've gone through our expectations. You know what's expected of you. Now it's time to follow through and get after it today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in action, making sure that every minute counts. Every minute that you're here, it counts. So let's make it count today in the Eagles Nest. Have an awesome Monday.